At our November 3rd council meeting, one of the first items on the agenda was an approval of funding for the community group Lionhearts to be able to rent Stages nightclub as space for meal distribution for those in need. Now, Lionhearts has already distributed thousands of meals over the course of the pandemic, primarily from outdoor locations like city parks. With the weather turning colder, they needed an indoor location to be able to continue this meal distribution program. So council saw an opportunity not only to be able to support Lionhearts, but also to provide revenue, in this case to a downtown business that has been closed since the onset of the pandemic. Last night, council also spent a good chunk of the evening talking about the adaptive reuse of a couple of heritage buildings in the city. The first is the former Princess Street United Church, which is now slated to be a hub for services and housing for at-risk youth. The historic manse next to the church was slated for demolition. The council instead deferred that decision to see if there was the opportunity to move the historic home to another location. Council also discussed the former Church of the Good Thief, which is now being converted into rental apartment housing. In this case, council approved a mix of both original and modern windows as a way to balance out both heritage but also livability concerns for future residents. Finally, last night, council approved a recommendation to develop a new plan to address traffic calming measures in the city. Now, councillors regularly hear from residents about concerns about speeding vehicles on residential streets, but the current system has led to a long backlog of streets to be assessed and considered for traffic calming measures. So instead, we will look at a new plan that would look both at a citywide approach, but also look at a neighborhood rather than an individual street, and ways and tools to be able to make those streets safer and more pedestrian friendly. Council will also have a future opportunity to consider other tools such as photo radar in areas such as school zones.